Okay, so this is the first video of me reviewing the study guide for going through to get the Platform Developer II, and I felt that it was a lot easier and more fun to study by actually implementing some of the code and some of the projects from the study guide rather than just reading the study guide, which had me falling asleep. So this is the first one. The first one is for Apex sharing, something I never really had to do at work or in production anywhere, but it was a pretty fun exercise. So here what I have is a custom object called job, and basically what it's going to do is when the job is created, we'll assume but that's by an HR person, then based on the department, it will share the record with a group that is associated with that department. So that is another thing that I had to create. In addition to the custom object called job, I also had to create some groups. But so we'll go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Public groups. And here I've only created two. And with these two groups, I've also created a pick list on the job record. Let's go take a look at that. Well, actually, we can just look at that here. So on the pick list, we have department, and here I'm only showing two departments. So basically, when the job record is created, here we have analyst, and this will share the record with the person from that department. One of the things that we had to create is a sharing reason, and so the reason is the reason for the sharing, and instead of having to require the person to do this manually, we're using Apex to do this, and there's criteria involved, which is the reason why it has to be done in Apex as opposed to via a criteria-based sharing rule. So the funny thing is that the sharing reasons are managed in Classic. So I do have a window open with the Classic, and this is the job record, the setup access point in the Classic, and here are the sharing reasons. I did already create the sharing reason, which is called manager assignment, and basically that's just we want to assign a manager or a group in this case based on the pick list that is chosen. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the code. So first thing that happens is a trigger fires after insert and after update to this class called manage sharing and a method called enable job sharing. We pass in the list of jobs, which is done via trigger.new. So we'll go over to the class. This class is called manage sharing. There's two methods in here. One of them is the one we call, which is enable job sharing. The trigger.new is passed in here as a job list. We create a new list for the job share job. So in order to create a sharing record, share gets added to the custom object name. And so here we have job share. So we have a new list. We bulkified this. So we're passing this in, and we're going to loop through the job list. We're going to check and make sure that the department is not null, and then we're going to create a map of ID and string. And to do this, we're actually getting the sharing group IDs, and we're calling the method up here. And identify sharing group, basically all this does is query the pick list value to get the group ID, and it returns a map of record ID and the group ID. And going down here, these are all the parameters that get passed to the job share record. And the important thing here is that group ID, which we obtain from the map, and we add those to the list and we update the list. One other thing I have to do here is make sure that this map is not null, because this could theoretically, if that pick list, department pick list, is not a required field, which will make it required in real life, it'll be required, but if not, then theoretically it could return a null value here. So it would throw an exception here when it tried to get an ID that wasn't in here. So just something, and we do a check to make sure the department is not null, which would prevent that from being null. So there's a couple different checks that we want to make sure that are in place there. Otherwise we could get some errors thrown at users in the real world. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it works. So we're going to go, and here we have this. We're actually going to create a new record. So let's delete this and create a new record. And we're going to use the same name for simplicity purposes, analyst. And we're going to create it for an accounting person. Now, the record I want to try and check. So now we have this record for an analyst in the accounting department. Now, the person we want to share it with is actually not in the accounting department. This person is the finance, and they have a profile that I gave them called finance. So we're going to log in as that person, and we're going to try to see any jobs. And here we see there are no jobs. It's not visible to the finance person at this stage because we shared it. It's an accounting pick list and not finance. So I just wanted to show that it's not visible at this stage. So let's go ahead and log out as a finance user. We have to log back in. And we're going to change the pick list value. So we're going to change this to, let me refresh because I logged back in. We're going to change the pick list to finance. Now it's finance. So that trigger has run after the save, and it called that Apex Managed Sharing class and created a sharing record for the finance profile. So let's go back in here, log in as the finance user. Let's go to jobs, and there it is. The record is there, and it is editable because, as you see, the access level I gave it was edit. So that's the first example that I'm going to go through from the study guide. Now, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I plan on trying to get this done within the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to work through the entire study guide and provide examples all the way through. So that's it. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching all the way through. Bye.